What happens when you can't pay the check and it's a big check and the restaurant is closing? Is that the right metaphor? I'm not sure. Last Friday, a New York judge ordered Donald Trump to pay $450 million, including interest, for a decades-long fraud where he lied about his net worth to cheat the system. And now Mr. Trump is trying his best to delay the reckoning. In addition to vowing to appeal this ruling, last night Trump's lawyers asked the judge here, Judge Arthur Engoron, for a 30-day stay, a pause that would essentially push back the deadline when Trump has to pay up. Once Judge Engoron's ruling is official, once the clerk enters it into the system, which could happen as soon as tomorrow morning, then the clock starts. Trump's legal team will have 30 days to file its appeal. But in order for Trump to do that, he must first post bond, which means putting down the entire $450 million, the damages, plus interest. Every day Trump fails to do so, once the clock starts, he will owe an additional $87,000 in interest. Every day. That is a lot of money in not a lot of time. And today, in a short, very terse email, Judge Engoron denied Trump's request for more time. You have failed to explain, much less justify, any basis for a stay. I am confident that the appellate division will protect your appellate rights. Joining me now to discuss is Lisa Rubin, MSNBC legal analyst, and everybody's not-so-secret weapon at this point. Lisa, thank you for being here. First off, Judge Engoron's email is, it's almost as if he wanted to write back, unsubscribe, like, take me off this mailing list. I have no interest in dealing with you on any of these matters anymore. Did you read that as particularly, shall we say, sharp, or is that pro forma?
Judge Engoron can be kind of sharp. He is very tolerant until he's not.
Yeah.
It's the best way I would describe it. However, a colleague wrote me a text today after seeing that email, and he said, he's done.
Yeah.
And my response was, he was done in November, right? They exhausted his patience many months ago.
And now it is not redounded to Donald Trump's favor. So the question is, you know, the clock could effectively begin this week, tomorrow. So,
yes.
ASAP.
Correct.
If Donald Trump can't find someone to give him a cool $500 million or thereabouts, what is the next practical step for Letitia James?
So let's say that Donald Trump does not post this bond. Then Letitia James has to start taking steps towards what's called executing on the judgment. She can either do that by trying to seize his personal property. She can also do that by trying to seize bank accounts. But when we're talking about the properties at issue in this case, I would just caution people who think that Tish James can go out and get 40 Wall Street for the state.
Put a sign on the door that says seized.
Right, and like for sale immediately. That's not how this is going to work. There are a lot of steps in between here and there. And on top of that, Donald Trump has lots of creditors. Tish James is not his only prospective creditor. As of tomorrow, she'll be a judgment creditor. But Donald Trump continues to have outstanding loans in the tens of millions or even hundreds of millions of dollars with respect to the very same properties that are at issue in this New York civil fraud trial.
I think we have a little graphic of the number of creditors that Trump's had, which may be illegible, but gives you a sense of the numbers. A lot of creditors, right?
Yep.
Is it an arms race here? Like, if Tish James starts calling in the debts, does that then scare other creditors potentially who are like, oh, maybe he's not going to be solvent for that much longer? I mean, could that be a domino effect?
Well, not only that, but if she obtains a judgment lien, which is basically a legal piece of paper that allows her to start seizing property and effectively prevent him from selling things, that in and of itself might be an event of default under some of his outstanding loans, which will allow a particular lender to go out and keep the collateral. So there are a lot of complex moving parts here involving Donald Trump's business empire, the various lenders and creditors that he has, and she'll have to figure out what assets he has that can quickly and easily be liquidated without other people online already.
Wow. So, I mean, it could devolve into some kind of feeding frenzy, to use a sort of colloquial term about it.
It could, and it could also even prompt him to file for personal bankruptcy because, again, in this order, Donald Trump and the business entities that were found liable are what's called jointly and severally liable. That means that any one of them can be liable for the whole of the judgment attributed to them. That also means that Donald Trump can't escape this just by plunging those business entities themselves into bankruptcy, because that would leave him individually on the hook for the totality of it. The only way to escape it altogether would be to file for personal bankruptcy, which would place an automatic stay on further litigation, including judgment execution.
Wow. Just walk me through a creditor. It can't be a creditor from, sorry, not a creditor, someone who may post bond for Trump.
Yep.
That person or that group cannot be based in New York City. Is that right? Or New York State?
Well, under the existing order, he can no longer borrow money from institutions that are registered or chartered in New York State. However, if you're appealing that judgment and staying that judgment, theoretically, that particular provision wouldn't be in effect while he appeals it. There are lots of financial institutions that probably fall outside of that. There are also wealthy individuals. And as our colleague Rachel Maddow has said, even foreign countries that might have an interest in loaning this money to him. I asked the Attorney General's office earlier this week, would we know as the public who loans Donald Trump this money? Would you even know as the Attorney General's office? And I believe the answer was, we're not clear on that. It's not clear whether we'll have any transparency as to how he gets the money to post a bond, if he does indeed post a bond.
Yeah, well, that could be a significant national security concern, given the fact that he is running for the highest office in the land. And foreign interference is a very real thing when you're talking about Donald Trump.
If it makes you feel any better, I have already put evac on alert. He's ready to go if it comes to that. General, I can assure you.
Hey, General, let me into the war room to see you, so I had to hack my way onto this frequency.
This better be critical, Wheelie.
So, come on, what is it now, please? Okay, couple of things. I'm running low on the dough. I was thinking about taking a couple of months sick leave, maybe starting today. And, oh yeah. I intercepted a transmission from Megatron.
Then send it through.
Yes, sir, right away, sir. And so I was so damn good on the other stuff.
This is your last warning, insects. Relinquish what remains of the Allspark.
So who's the insect? You? What? Who's the insect?
Protect you. They were defeated on our world, and we will defeat them here.
This was just a diversion. Security team, bring up. Rabbit, she's already inside. Deeds! Give me an update on that reserve. What's readiness? What was his name? What was it?
Evac, sir.
Right, evac.
She's right in front.
We're facing a heavy, sustained attack. They appear to be after the Allspark. General! General! Need to immediately evacuate. National security advisor. Stay down. Check it out. The mission is outrageous. The amateurs on a suicide mission.